Some people claim that I don't know what I'm shooting, or I don't know where Polaris is. I definitely know where Polaris is. I can see it from my backyard every night, as long as there's no clouds. And here's proof that, here's some time lapses that I am filming Polaris, and I know exactly where it's at in the sky. Um, like I said, I walk outside and I can watch it every night, as long as I've got a nice clear night to view it. Um, that first one was a 25-minute time lapse. This is a 2.5 hour. Actually, I think I cut this one a little bit short, or my battery ran out. But I immediately put in another battery and kept my camera exactly in the same position that it was. So just to show how even the stars will do this twinkle effect. Um, and, some of that is due to it being, a time lapse. Now, I didn't enhance these at all. I didn't do anything to them as far as corrupt them in any way. I didn't change any contrast, brightness, or saturation rate. They're all just regular um, time lapses. And then I wanted to do this is going to be from a different day, but I wanted to do a star trail. So I did this star trail, and thought it was pretty interesting because Polaris, but people claim that because I don't have it centered, it will, um, not show up properly or whatever. But I don't think it was centered in the very first part. And you can also tell that, um, it doesn't have to be centered for everything to revolve around. It's like looking at a Ferris wheel from a long ways away from a side angle. You're if you point at the center of it, you don't have to have it centered right to the very center to see it go around. I mean, it isn't going to look lopsided. Um, Now, I thought my dog may have bumped my camera, so I was complaining, but I realized what this was it was actually a plane, because I was so zoomed in. It was a plane or a couple of planes that went by um, right over it. So, interesting shot right there. But one of the things that the P1000 has is it does time lapse pictures too. So what I did was I started doing these pictures of Polaris, and here's the first one. Um, and then, as I go through these pictures, you'll see them kind of change a little bit, and you'll start seeing them move. And what's really interesting is we get into uh, certain ones here, and you'll continue to see them, Polaris or stars within side of the circle of Polaris. Polaris does circle, it does move, and people want to constantly tell me that it doesn't. Well, from the naked eye, it definitely doesn't move, but when you use a zoom camera, which, think about, back in the day, not a lot of people had zoom cameras. So what I did was I took my the last picture that I took, and or the last exposure, the longest exposure, and then I did enhance it, just to give us a different view of it. Right here was the first enhancement. And what I'm trying to do is inspire others to get out there with their cameras and videotape this, because I'm not crazy, and you can obviously tell something is definitely different about Polaris when you actually do use a zoom camera. If they knew that we had the technology that we do today to get this kind of zoom, I think it would have been a big game changer back in the day when Copernicus was around. Because I don't think that we would have been fed the stupid lies that we've been fed.